This next panel is all future-focused D2C executives so we got a rock star panelist coming up. They're doing really exciting things in the world. But first, I'd love to introduce you to Alana. She's a huge part of the Founder Made family. Alana, if you could just introduce yourself, and then I'll let you kick it off.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name is Alana Frankfurt. I've been part of the Founder Made community since our first ever event, which Megan can remind us, I don't even know how many years ago it was, maybe 2014, 2013. And I'm a big fan and supporter. I have a consulting company where I work with D2C companies, very much like the ones we're going to hear from today. I also have a family office where we make consumer investments. And I grew up in sales and marketing, and now kind of do my own thing and make investments and advise. So that's me. And we have a great panel today. Hi, guys. Great. Hey, guys. Everyone's here. So I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves to start. Tell us about you and your company and what your company does for those who don't know. Why don't we start with Billy?
Cool. Hey, everybody. Super happy to be here. So yeah, my name's Billy, and I work with a company called Gorgeous. So I'm the head of our partnerships team. And the company is a help desk for D2C companies. So that means is we bring in all the channels that you guys are interacting with your customers on. So like email, chat, social, into one place, and then connect with your tech stack so that you can provide that really seamless customer support experience when you're talking with customers pre-purchase, post-purchase, and even during purchase.
Great, thank you. Ben, hi.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I started a company called Recess. Simply put, we make products that help people relax in the crazy times that we live in. Kind of our thesis is that mental well-being is one of the largest trends in the world, and it's making its way into the products that we drink and that we eat. And we have a couple different product lines. Our first product line is a CBD and adaptogen infused beverage. We also recently launched a line called Recess Mood, which leverages magnesium in both beverages and ready-to-mix powders. And then we've built a pretty cool brand world around the products in order to sell the products. And so, yeah, excited to be here.
Great. Hi, Zach, you're next.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. My name is Zach Johnson. I'm the founder and CEO of Greenbox Robotics. We build and manufacture sophisticated vending machines for the wellness industry, including cannabis and CBD products. We launched in January of 2019 as an express checkout for high foot traffic dispensaries. And we've since then expanded our business to offer CBD robotic retail in a variety of locations, apartment complexes, shopping centers, eventually airports. And customers can come to our robots, as we call them, and learn about these products, make an educated decision about what product's going to help with their ailments, and then purchase them fully unattended. We have plans to launch the first fully automated cannabis dispensary next year. And we've also recently launched our direct-to-consumer program with greenboxdirect.com, where you're able to shop for all of the products on our website and have them delivered to your doorstep. Thank you, Founder Made, for having me be a part of this amazing panel.
Awesome. So I just want to start by saying the obvious, that direct-to-consumer doesn't necessarily just mean e-commerce, obviously. It's how the customer experiences a brand. So I'd love to hear from each of you to see how you use the customer experience to ideate, launch, and propel your business forward. So why and how you use customer feedback and customer experience in general. Why don't we start with Ben?
Okay, let's see. So I guess, thinking about how the kind of origin of Recess and how we launched, I fundamentally thought about we were really introducing a new functional proposition into the world. There wasn't really beverages designed to help you feel calm that really existed before we launched. I had this premise that in an increasingly omnichannel world that CPG brands would have to connect with their audiences digitally, and that to connect with your audience digitally, you couldn't just post different angles of your can every day. That's not that interesting for the consumer. And so I really always thought about Recess as a narrative-driven brand. It was not marketing CBD in a sparkling water. It was really focused on kind of establishing the idea of taking a recess so that you can feel calm, cool, collected, which is an antidote to modern times, and really just driving home that story every day. And we really kind of started in Instagram as our first place that we would create content And I really thought about the strategy there as like a social commentary on the millennial existence. We were kind of talking about the issues that we're all living through in a very kind of tongue-in-cheek way. And so, yeah, I always thought about it like the introducing recess was trying to like have a conversation with people. And that first happened digitally. And then we also did kind of in real life experiences. So we did a pop-up in New York called Recess IRL in the early days, which was also very impactful. And obviously was like it's like the definition of direct to consumer. So the early days was always about, we only focused on our own channels. We did no paid media for like the first, year plus of Recess. And so I always kind of thought about it as this kind of direct to consumer strategy first, and not from a brand building perspective, not just, distribution strategy or a distribution perspective.
Interesting. Great. Thanks. Zach, you want to chime in?
Yeah, huge fan of Recess, by the way. Ben and I are friends. I think how they launched their business is fascinating. Before the product was even launched, seeing the incredible assets that Recess was creating was really cool. It kind of inspired confidence in the product. So I was very excited to try it. At Greenbox, we were really looking to solve a problem. I found myself waiting in a dispensary line for 25 minutes, and I knew exactly what I wanted that day. I wanted a cartridge, an edible, and an eighth of flour, and I was waiting. I didn't need the hand holding or the education of the staff. And as I got back into my car, I thought there's got to be a better way for customers like myself that want that efficient, you walk into Starbucks, you've pre-ordered your coffee, that efficient approach. So I started thinking, what does that look like and how can we help those customers? And for, a hardware manufactured product, you think, excuse me, in the factory, exactly how things are going to go. But until you put your product in the field and get real customer data and see how they're responding to your product, you don't know what you don't know. So we've always focused on Greenbox being in beta, even though we've been in the market for 2+ years. We're constantly learning from our customers what works and what doesn't, from the UI to the metal fabrication to the education around the products. We always want to evolve and get better. And I think that is so important in entrepreneurship and in business. If people don't like the flavor, let's hear about it. If they don't like the experience because it's not fast enough, let's make it faster. Let's make the flavor better. So I think the long and short is your customers are the most important part of your business. And if you don't listen to them and respond in real time, you're stubborn. And that's no way to lead a company. So I think listening to your customers is the best way to answer that question.
Zach, that's a great segue to hear about Billy and how Gorgias really helps brands do so and listen to customers and gather that data and use it to propel their businesses forward. So Billy, do you want to kind of give us some antidotes on how your company does so?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in on that. So, I completely agree with how Ben and Zach founded their businesses, identifying a problem in the space and really doubling down on that. And then, obviously you want to keep on being innovative. And like Zach said, your customer is really your North Star. So like you can have a product, but to keep on, gaining interest from those customers, like you need to innovate and figure out what they want. And one of the best ways to do that is to get feedback from them, and no better way than doing that than what they're saying to your customer support team. So the way that we help brands do that is we bring in all those channels into one place. But then I think with regards to feedback, basically the most important thing you need to do is like, how can you get that feedback at scale and use that to make decisions about your business? So, basically there's a lot of reporting and AI to basically bring in all of that volume of support. And then at the end of the month, you could say, hey, these are like the top 10 things that these customers are saying about my product. Let's say it's product specifically. And based off of that data, you can make new products, you can make alterations to your products, you can, maybe make decisions about how you're shipping the product, things like that. And so if we stick in the CPG space, like we work with a really cool brand called Olipop. They sell a soda, and what they actually launched a new flavor of soda from a lot of feedback of, hey, I want this flavor over like a 6 to 12 month period. And most of that feedback was coming through the support team from their customers. So yeah, I'd say like make it super easy for customers to send you feedback, which is just having all channels available email, chat, social, wherever you're at, and then find a way to kind of like analyze that data at scale, so you can look at the trends and go from there.
Yeah, customer feedback is so important. I mean, it can drive an entire business. Ben, do you have an example of when you've used customer feedback to launch a new product?
Yes, many. So I forgot to address that part of the question. So one of the things that was interesting about Recess is like we weren't sure how people would use the product because it was kind of a new proposition. And the original brand positioning was like, it's how you wish the 2 o'clock coffee made you feel, which we viewed as like, that was like really about taking a recess. But then what we saw like immediately through people sharing Recess and Instagram, because we get a lot of earned media, was different people are using it at different times of the day for kind of different use cases. So that was a core one. A lot of people would use it in the evening as a substitute for alcohol. A lot of people would use it after a workout. A lot of people would use it before a flight. A lot of people would use it to start their day calm. A lot of people would use it before bed. And always had, Recess was really designed to become a brand platform. So I always would say it's take a recess, not drink recess, because we always thought we could create many different types of products. And so that's kind of inspired Recess Mood, which is in both beverage that we saw this as like, calming and chilling is a little bit different than kind of lifting your mood. And there's kind of these nuanced use cases and it can play in both of them. And then also, products like our powders. So we have stick packs for taking recess on the go, like keeping your car, keeping your bag, keeping your purse, take it on a flight. We have like an unflavored powder that people add to their coffee or smoothie in the morning. So we really like let the customer kind of tell us, the different times they want to take a recess. And that kind of drives like our future innovation, because we think there's a lot of different kind of subcategories that we can play in within this kind of mega trend.
And how did you gather that feedback to launch these new products? I mean, other than just kind of anecdotally through Instagram, did you do anything such as partner with a Gorgeous or to collect data in any other methodical way that brands might learn from?
A lot of it in the early, it was pretty like just anecdotal instinct driven. I'd say for us, it's like Instagram, we'd get everything from Instagram, and like how people share the product really to us was like the best indicator of like what the use cases were. Because again, it's kind of a new category. So it was unclear, how it would play out a little bit. Right. Now we start to survey customers and we understand like, why do you drink recess and what, the most popular reasons are. And it's, relaxation, calm, alcohol alternative, focus. It's kind of all of those things to a degree. And so we're starting to do a little bit more there, but I'd say in the early days, it was really just listening on Instagram.
Got it. And what about you, Zach? Any new products that have been inspired completely from customer feedback, or any pivots you've made based on the customer experience?
Definitely. So I would say our biggest pivot to date was launching as an express checkout for compliant licensed dispensaries, which is where our focus was. Those were the 4 walls that Greenbox was going to live in. But less than 30 days into our launch, we were approached by one of the biggest CBD and THC manufacturers, a company called Select, founded by Cameron Forney. And Cameron wanted to use our machines for promotion of his CBD business. So without that, monumental opportunity with a huge company that wanted to brand our machines, deploy them outside of the 4 walls of a licensed dispensary for an activation at South by Southwest, an activation at Coachella, an activation in San Diego, we would have been very narrow-minded about where our business lives. And because of that pivot, with Cameron reaching out and wanting custom Select branded machines, we never would have tested grocery stores. We never would have tested 7-Eleven. We never would have tested shopping centers across the entire country, to then discover that apartment complexes is where people are and where our customers benefit from CBD bath bombs, tinctures, muscle rubs, roll-ons, things that you need throughout your day. So I think listening to the inbound lead who didn't want them for cannabis, he wanted them outside of those 4 walls, was an incredibly important pivot for our business, and what allowed us to sustain as regulation and compliance is still being defined in different states. I'm really fortunate to be joining a team in Massachusetts, the Townsend brothers, who are in the process of launching their first cannabis dispensary. And the compliance of cannabis retail in Massachusetts is not the same as Michigan, Illinois, California, Oregon, Washington. So you really have to figure out, what are the rules and how do we play within those lines? But with CBD, the Farm Bill was signed, which allows hemp-derived CBD products to be sold in the same way that CPG products are sold currently. There's a lot of retailers that have pushback about certain categories within the hemp-derived CBD category, but it's important to understand where is your addressable market and where is your demand coming from, and how can you pivot effectively to keep your business afloat and growing. So that was easily the most important pivot of our business.
Wow. Billy, I'd love to hear a real life example, another one of how you've really helped a business, maybe one of your proudest moments of how your customer data that you've gathered has helped a business propel forward and what that looked like.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Olipop's like, because I'm really close with their team, so I talk with them a lot. So I get like really good feedback from Olipop on like what they've done. But yeah, that's probably the one that I remember the most. But there's also this skincare brand called Uji, and they were using customer. I guess this is a way that they kind of were driving some extra sales. But they sell skincare products, and there's like different colors for like your lips and like stuff like that. And when you're shopping online, I don't shop for that stuff online, but when you're shopping online, like you can't try the color on or see what it looks like. And so they were getting a lot of feedback of like, basically, I don't know what to purchase and things like that. And so what they did was they added a flow to basically let prospects on their website know that they can reach out and basically ask a stylist or an expert to kind of like help them choose the color. Sorry. And so the way that they did that was they had these like chat automations. It's kind of like a chat pop-up specific to certain product pages that have all of these like colors. And they would just say, hey, reach out to us now. And like, we can help you choose like the perfect color or whatever. And they would dedicate an agent to that to respond pretty instantly. And because of that, more people were actually reaching out to them before purchasing to ask questions. And then they were directly like helping that person. And then after making the recommendations, they were checking out. So that's an example of like, they were losing opportunities because people were having a problem shopping for something that was, not easy to shop for online in their situation.
And you implemented that for them and helped them through that whole process.
Yeah. Well, we helped them through the setup process and stuff, but honestly, it's like pretty easy. I think the harder part is like tagging those inquiries at the end of the month. Like, you know that, hey, we're losing out on a lot of sales because people don't know what to buy with us. So once that's set up, implementing the actual like process of like helping people through the journey was super easy.
I'm going to pivot a little with the holidays coming up. I'd love to hear from Ben and Zach and hear how you guys are engaging the customers and what your holiday plans are and keeping them engaged, as I said, and buying your product. Who wants to start? Ben?
Sure. So look, I think we try and adjust our narrative to like the time of year, right? And so the holidays are a stressful time.
Of course.
And so we'll like kind of create fun content, that helps explain why recess is a good thing to have around the holidays. We also kind of dry January is a big month for us. We're going to do some interesting things this dry January, but definitely kind of lean into the alcohol alternative kind of use case for recess during these times of year when you're drinking more. So those are a couple of the types of things. I think we're doing a holiday sale, but a lot of actually is like kind of gearing up for next year. So nothing too out of the ordinary, unfortunately.
And how, as you scale and introduce new products, how do you communicate with your existing customers? Is it generally through Instagram primarily first, or email, or both?
Yeah, both. And then we also have a large kind of retail presence. So we're starting, now that COVID's on the decline a bit, we're starting to do more field marketing stuff. So sampling and integrating into events. And yeah, we're kind of getting ready to launch a bunch of new markets and channels. And so we'll kind of recatalyze a lot of our brand marketing stuff next year.
Zach, you want to answer the original question about the holidays and moving forward?
Yeah, of course. So we have a 6 foot tall, 4 feet wide, 4 feet in depth, 16 square foot footprint with our robots, our green box vending machines. We do have a touchscreen display that's advertising all the products that are in the machine. we're able to update that remotely. So for the holidays, we will have different calls to action during that screensaver, highlighting more festive holiday colors. Discounts will be delivered every Wednesday throughout the 52-week year, but looking at different types of discounts at the point of sale. And then we're big believers of CQC, consistent quality content across all platforms. So if we're going to advertise something on Instagram, or we're going to advertise something on Facebook, it might not necessarily be what we're promoting on LinkedIn. It's important to us to always have our audience in mind and understand that people that are learning about Greenbox, are coming from all different channels. So I would say promoting our online store, greenboxdirect.com, is going to be a big one. And for all the listeners today, we created a promo code FRIENDS, so you can get a 30% discount on anything on greenboxdirect.com. But it's really, our CMO is one of the most talented humans on this team, Caroline Murphy, putting together some of the most robust marketing strategies for our company. So I definitely lean on her on what she's thinking and where she wants to take the marketing endeavors going into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the Christmas holidays.
Great. So we probably have time for kind of one more broad question. This came from some of our audience members, and it is broad, so take it however you want it. But do you have any tactical advice on how to take innovative action and positively impact your business, both in the near and far term? Does anybody want to start there?
Good question. What do you got for us, Billy?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. Obviously, there's a lot of things, but a very simple takeaway, just following up on what I've been chatting about specifically, and this is also has to do with engaging with your customers during the holidays. But obviously Q4 is a lot of buyer intent. So if there's one thing you can do around this time of the year really, really well, is try to respond super fast. Like, everyone thinks of Amazon as like the pillar because it's either self-serve or they respond super fast. But I would say anytime someone comments on an ad or a post, maybe there's high purchase intent of like, hey, do you ship here? Can I get a discount? Like, the faster you respond, and we see this in the data, there's a direct correlation with response time and conversion rates, not even just customer support, but the sooner you respond to something that's pre-purchased, the more likely they're actually going to convert and go to a sale. So I would consider, if I'm going to say one thing tactical, consider like seasonal staffing for some of those channels, like maybe for like comment moderation or for the live chat, and be super proactive about it. Try to get these people to be reaching out to you while they're purchasing, because you can help them through the buyer's journey. So yeah, I'd say that's like one tactical thing I would look at.
That's great. Thank you. Ben or Zach?
I would say, to piggyback what Billy was saying, we live in a world where we want instant gratification. We want the answer. If somebody asks you a question and you don't know it, you go right on Google and you figure it out for yourself. From a Greenbox perspective, we want to be as resourceful to our customers as possible. So I do believe in replying immediately, answering phone calls. But from a tactical standpoint, it's developing these protocols in place. We all have fire drills that we deal with from a supply chain, from a maintenance, from a fulfillment standpoint. Learning as quickly as possible what changes need to be made so that the future is more efficient is how we think at Greenbox. So just being prepared for the unknown, but then learning as quickly as possible how to make those adjustments to make the future a little bit better. And just communicating with your customers as quickly as possible.
Great. Ben, any tactical advice?
Yeah, I guess I'll share something I've been thinking about around like brand strategy, which is I really think people remember like the collective strategy that a brand has more so than like an individual piece of content or even campaign, right? I kind of was inspired by Red Bull and modeling Recess in the sense that Red Bull was like very clear cut and that aligned with the action sports community to kind of create the association of having a Red Bull and getting stimulated, sponsored every athlete, every event, kind of created the media around it, which was their entire strategy. And they were like almost singularly focused on that. And can't remember every athlete they worked with, but it was more of this collective strategy that I think was very impactful. And I think in this day and age, it's important to, I think like that and have this kind of consistent on the channel, conversation you're having. I really also believe in like narrative driven brands today. And so, I think holistically about the brand. And I think those are the brands that are going to make the biggest impact in a very crowded world that we all live in. And it's really hard to break through. So I think that's directionally something I've been thinking about lately.
Awesome. Anything new coming in 2022 that you guys want to share? New products, new innovations, anything that you may have not have mentioned? Billy, anything on your end?
I would say there's not one big thing to focus on. Like as a like fast growing company, we're launching new things like every week and every month. But I guess like we just launched if you want a feature specific, we just launched a native FAQ builder. So like we're really going deep on the self-serve side of things. So customers being able to get the information they want through the chat or through the FAQs without having to actually engage with a real human. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff around automations with those FAQ flows, basically self-serve, so that if someone comes to your FAQ page and they need their order status or they have a question, they basically can go through some flows on that to be able to get that information without having to reach out. So
Cool.
Good experience for them and a way to deflect a ticket for the brand and keep things efficient.
Great. Zach and Ben, if you have something you want to share, otherwise maybe just one final piece of advice that you would want to leave to everyone listening.
Yeah, I'll loop that in at the end. Next year, we're going to be launching a fully automated dispensary, self-serve, to piggyback what Billy was just saying. It's been a dream of mine to have, a fully automated dispensary where you can go in and go out in less than 2 minutes. We'll also be launching a new dispensary in Beverly, Massachusetts. That is a project I'm very excited about. I'm from the North Shore of Massachusetts and couldn't be more excited to partner with the Townsend family to bring that to life. And then a piece of advice, entrepreneurship is not easy. Building a business can be, one of the most challenging things that you've ever been faced with. Never give up. Learn as quickly as you can. Take really good notes. Seek out advice as much as possible. Be scrappy. And from the last panelist, Whitney Tingle, she said, seeing challenges as an opportunity for growth. I couldn't agree with that statement more than anything in the journey of building Greenbox. But just, keep a positive mindset, hold yourself accountable, hold your team accountable, and just week over week, develop more and more efficiencies and reach out if you have a question. I love talking to entrepreneurs and solving problems and just, having those conversations.
Thank you. I see Megan's going to wrap us up right now. So Ben, do you have anything quick you want to add?
Limited edition flavor dropping for dry January, and we're launching a bunch of new markets and channels next year. So look out for Recess.
Congrats to all of you on amazing innovation and great businesses. And I'll be following all of you guys closely. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Lana, do you remember, you guys, this is amazing. I have to say, like the future focused founders and the variety of what you guys are doing each in your respective spaces is just so awe-inspiring. And what I love is, I see, I think that this time that we've had in the pandemic, that everyone's in it to win it now. We're all okay, we've been through this crazy thing with our life and with world, and everyone's innovating in such really cool ways and working together to really make the world better for the next generation. It's all about building things and solving problems. So thank you.